I stood there, in the driveway of what was supposed to be my childhood home, holding a brand new set of keys that none of them had. My phone? Blowing up, 23 missed calls, 37 text messages, all from the same people who'd spent the last 15 years lying straight to my face. My brother Marcus was pounding on the front door so hard I thought he might break his hand. My sister Jennifer? She was screaming through the window about lawyers and police. And my Aunt Carol, the ringleader of this whole twisted circus, she just stood there on the lawn with her mouth hanging open, realizing that for the first time in her entire manipulative life, she'd finally lost. But I'm getting ahead of myself. See, this story doesn't start with me changing the locks. It starts with a funeral, a secret, and the kind of family betrayal that makes your blood run cold when you finally discover the truth. If you've ever been lied to by the people who were supposed to protect you, if you've ever fantasized about the moment the truth comes crashing down on someone who wronged you, hit that like button right now, subscribe to this channel, and buckle up. Because what you're about to hear, this is the kind of justice that restores your faith in karma. My name is Daniel. I'm 32 years old, and up until 6 months ago, I genuinely believed my family loved me. I mean, not in that perfect sitcom kind of way. We had our issues. Every family does, right? But I believed that at the end of the day, we were connected by something real, something that mattered. God, was I wrong? Let me take you back, way back, to when I was 17 years old. That was the year my dad died. Heart attack, sudden, devastating. 1 minute he was mowing the lawn on a Saturday afternoon, humming some old Beatles song. The next minute he was gone, just gone. No warning, no goodbye, nothing. I remember standing in the hospital hallway, my mom collapsed in a chair beside me, my older brother Marcus trying to be the man of the family, even though his hands wouldn't stop shaking. My sister Jennifer, she was only 14. She just cried for hours. And then there was Aunt Carol, my dad's sister. She swooped in like some kind of vulture dressed in black, taking charge of everything. The funeral arrangements, the paperwork, the finances. At the time, I thought she was being helpful. I thought she was stepping up because Mom was too devastated to function. I had no idea what she was really doing. Here's what I was told when I was 17. Dad didn't have much. He'd worked as a regional sales manager for a manufacturing company. Decent job, decent salary, but nothing crazy. The house, mortgaged to the hilt. His life insurance, barely enough to cover the funeral and keep us afloat for a year or two. Mom sat me down about a month after the funeral. Her eyes were still red and puffy. She could barely look at me. "Daniel," she said, her voice cracking. "Things are going to be tight for a while. We're going to have to make some sacrifices." I nodded. I was 17. What did I know about money? About estates and wills and legal documents? "Your college fund." She paused, swallowing hard. "Sweetheart, there is no college fund. Your father, he tried, but there just wasn't enough." I told her it was okay. I told her I'd get scholarships. I'd work part-time. I'd figure it out. And I did. I worked my ass off. I got a partial scholarship to a state school. I worked 30 hours a week at a campus bookstore, then nights at a pizza place on weekends. I graduated with a mountain of student loan debt, but I graduated. I got a job. I moved to a different city. I built a life. Meanwhile, Marcus, he bought a house when he was 25. A nice house. He always said he'd gotten lucky with investments, that he'd saved really well. Jennifer, she went to a private college. No loans, no debt. She graduated and immediately traveled through Europe for 6 months. "Just needed to find myself," she said. And Mom? She stayed in our childhood home. The mortgage that was supposedly crushing her paid off within 5 years of Dad's death. But whenever I asked questions, whenever something felt off, I was told the same thing. "Your father just didn't leave much, Daniel. We've all had to make sacrifices." Sacrifices. That word, God, I grew to hate that word. Fast forward to 6 months ago. I got a call from a lawyer I'd never heard of. A man named Richard Pemberton from Pemberton and Associates. "Is this Daniel Mitchell?" he asked. "Yes," I said, confused. "Can I help you?" Mr. Mitchell, I'm calling regarding your father's estate. There's been a significant development. My heart started pounding. Estate? My dad died 15 years ago. What kind of development could there possibly be? I'm sorry, I said, but I think you have the wrong person. My father's estate was settled a long time ago. There was a pause on the other end. A long, heavy pause. Mr. Mitchell, the lawyer said slowly, I don't think you're aware of the full scope of your father's assets. Could you come to my office? There are some things we need to discuss in person. I took the day off work. Drove 2 hours to this lawyer's office in my hometown. The whole drive, my mind was racing. What could this possibly be about? Some forgotten savings account? A small inheritance I'd never known about? Richard Pemberton was exactly what you'd picture when you think estate attorney. 50s? Silver hair, expensive suit, leather chairs, mahogany desk. He gestured for me to sit down. Mr. Mitchell, he began, pulling out a thick folder. I'm going to be direct with you. Your father passed away 15 years ago, correct? I nodded. And you were told at that time that his estate was minimal. Is that correct? Yes, I said. There was barely anything, just enough for the funeral and a bit extra. The lawyer's jaw tightened. He looked angry, but not at me. Mr. Mitchell, that information was false. My stomach dropped. He opened the folder and slid several documents across the desk toward me. Your father, he continued, had substantial assets at the time of his death. A paid-off house worth approximately $400,000 at the time, a life insurance policy worth $350,000, a 401k with $220,000, stock portfolios, savings accounts. In total, his estate was valued at just over $1.2 million. The room started spinning. What? I whispered. Furthermore, the lawyer said, his voice hardening, your father's will explicitly divided his estate equally among his 3 children. You, Marcus, and Jennifer. That means you were entitled to approximately $400,000, Daniel. I couldn't breathe. I literally couldn't breathe. There must be some mistake, I said. My mom, my aunt, they told me. Your Aunt Carol was named as the executor of the estate, the lawyer interrupted. She had full control over the distribution of assets, and according to these records, which I obtained through a separate legal matter involving one of my other clients, she deliberately misrepresented the estate's value to you. She distributed the full inheritance to your brother and sister, and she kept a significant portion for herself, claiming it was for estate management fees and caretaking expenses. My hands were shaking. Actually shaking. How? My voice cracked. How is that even legal? It's not, the lawyer said flatly. It's fraud. It's embezzlement. And the reason I'm calling you now is because the statute of limitations on estate fraud in this state is 15 years. You have exactly 6 months left to file a claim. I left that office in a daze. I sat in my car for over an hour just staring at nothing. My entire family had lied to me. Not just lied, stolen from me, watched me struggle through college, watched me drown in student loans, watched me work myself to exhaustion, all while they lived off money that was supposed to be mine. And my mom? She had to have known. There was no way she didn't know. I called her that night, shaking, furious, heartbroken. Mom, I said when she answered, I need to ask you something, and I need you to tell me the truth. Of course, honey, she said, her voice bright and cheerful. What's going on? Did Dad leave me anything when he died? Silence. Long, terrible silence. Sweetheart, she finally said, her voice careful. We've talked about this. Your father didn't leave much. Stop lying to me, I shouted. I couldn't help it. I know about the estate, Mom. I know about the $1.2 million. I know about the will. I know that you all stole my inheritance. More silence. And then she started crying. Not guilty crying, not ashamed crying. Defensive crying. Daniel, you don't understand, she sobbed. It was complicated. Carol said it was better this way. Marcus needed help buying a house. Jennifer needed college paid for. You were always so independent, so capable. We knew you'd be fine. I worked 3 jobs, I screamed. I have $100,000 in student loan debt. I've been eating ramen and living paycheck to paycheck for a decade while you all lived like kings off Dad's money. We were going to tell you," she whimpered. "Eventually. We thought." "You thought I'd never find out," I said coldly, and I hung up. The next few weeks were a blur. I hired the lawyer, Richard Pemberton. Turns out he was a pit bull when it came to estate fraud. We filed a lawsuit, named everyone. Aunt Carol, Marcus, Jennifer, even Mom, though that one nearly killed me. Their reactions? Oh, they were priceless. Marcus called me furious. "You're really going to sue your own family over money? Dad would be ashamed of you." I laughed. Actually laughed. "Dad left me that money, Marcus. You stole it. Don't you dare talk to me about shame." Jennifer sent me a long, rambling text about how I was tearing the family apart and how money isn't everything. Easy to say when you're living in a nice apartment in the city, working a cushy nonprofit job you don't need because you have no debt. And Aunt Carol? She threatened me, actually threatened me, said if I didn't drop the lawsuit, she'd make sure I regretted it. "Good luck with that," I told her. "My lawyer's already filed. See you in court." But here's where it gets interesting. See, during the discovery process, we found something huge, the family home, the house I grew up in, the house Mom still lived in. Technically, according to the original estate documents, that house was supposed to be split 3 ways among the kids and then sold, with the proceeds divided. But Aunt Carol had transferred the deed, put it solely in Mom's name, claimed it was for estate simplification purposes. Illegal. Completely, utterly illegal, and my lawyer? He smiled when he saw it. "Daniel," he said, "according to the law, you're entitled to 1/3 ownership of that house, immediately, which means you have legal authority to make decisions about the property." An idea started forming in my head. A beautiful, perfect, justified idea. I waited until Mom, Marcus, and Jennifer were all out for the day. They'd all planned some big family brunch at Aunt Carol's place. Ironic, really. Probably sitting around talking about what a terrible person I was. I drove to the house, my childhood home, the place where I'd learned to ride a bike, where I'd had my first kiss on the porch, where Dad used to make pancakes every Sunday morning, and I changed every single lock. Front door, back door, side garage entrance, every single one. Then I called a security company, had them install a new system, cameras, motion sensors, the works, all under my name. I left a note taped to the front door. As of today, I am exercising my legal right as 1/3 owner of this property. Entry is prohibited without my express written permission. Any attempt to enter will be considered trespassing and will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. You all know why this is happening. You stole from me. You lied to me. Now deal with the consequences. Daniel. Then I sat in my car across the street, and I waited. They came home around 4 p.m., all of them. Mom's car pulled up first. She got out, laughing about something. Then Marcus's truck, Jennifer's sedan right behind, and Aunt Carol. Of course she was there. I watched Mom walk up to the front door, digging in her purse for her keys. She tried to put the key in the lock. It didn't fit. She tried again, confused, frustrated. "What the hell?" I heard her say. Then she saw the note. I watched her face go white. Completely white. She grabbed the paper, her hands shaking, and read it. "Oh my God," she whispered. "Oh my God, no." Marcus came up behind her. What's wrong?" She showed him the note. And I will never ever forget the look on his face. Pure shock, then anger, red-hot, explosive anger. "Are you kidding me?" he screamed, spinning around like he was looking for me. Daniel, I know you're around here somewhere." He started pounding on the door, kicking it, screaming obscenities. Jennifer was crying. "We can't get in? What do we do?" "All my stuff is in there." And Aunt Carol? She was on her phone, already calling someone, probably her lawyer. I started my car and drove past them slowly. Rolled down my window. "Hey guys," I called out cheerfully. "Beautiful day, isn't it?" Marcus lunged toward my car. "You son of a—" "Careful, Marcus," I said calmly. "Threatening me in front of all these Ring doorbell cameras the neighbors have? Not a smart move." "You can't do this," Mom screamed. "This is my house." "Actually," I said, "according to the law, it's 1/3 mine. And since you all committed estate fraud, I'm pretty sure I have every right to protect my assets. See you in court." And I drove away. My phone exploded. I'm talking constant, non-stop, calls, texts, voicemails. "Marcus, you're a vindictive piece of garbage. Dad would hate you. Jennifer, please, Daniel. I have nowhere to go. Please let me get my things. Mom, how could you do this to your own mother? After everything I've done for you? And Aunt Carol. Oh, Aunt Carol sent me a voice message I saved. Her voice was shaking with rage. You think you're clever, don't you? You think you've won? You just made the biggest mistake of your life, boy. I will bury you in legal fees. I will make sure you lose everything. You hear me? Everything." I forwarded it to my lawyer. He loved it. Threats and intimidation. Perfect. This'll play great in court. Over the next few days, things escalated. They tried everything. Marcus showed up with a locksmith. The locksmith took one look at my legal documentation, the deed information, and my lawyer's letter, and refused to help. Jennifer tried the sympathy angle. Sent me a long email about how she'd always looked up to me, how she didn't fully understand what Aunt Carol had done, how she was innocent in all this. "You went to college on my stolen money," I wrote back. "You traveled Europe on my stolen money. You're not innocent. You're complicit." Mom tried to get the police involved, claimed I was illegally evicting her. The police showed up, looked at my paperwork, and basically told her it was a civil matter. They couldn't force me to let her in. The look on her face? Devastation. Betrayal. As if I was the one who'd done something wrong. The lawsuit moved forward. My lawyer was ruthless. We had documentation. We had bank records. We had email chains where Aunt Carol explicitly discussed keeping Daniel in the dark. Their lawyer tried to argue that I'd waited too long, that I'd essentially forfeited my claim by not questioning things earlier. My lawyer shot that down immediately. "Your clients deliberately defrauded my client. They lied to a minor about his legal inheritance. That's textbook fraud, and the statute of limitations clock doesn't start until the fraud is discovered." We won. Not just won. Crushed them. The judge ordered full restitution. $400,000 plus 15 years of interest, plus legal fees, plus damages for emotional distress. Total, nearly $650,000. Marcus had to sell his house. Jennifer had to liquidate her savings. Aunt Carol had to declare bankruptcy. And Mom, she had to sell the family home. The house I'd already locked them out of. I bought it. Paid cash, fair market value. It's mine now. Fully, legally, completely mine. Here's the thing about betrayal. The deepest cuts come from the people who are supposed to love you. But here's the thing about justice. When it finally comes, when the people who wronged you finally face consequences, it doesn't just feel good. It feels right. Like the universe finally balanced itself out. If this story gave you that satisfied, justice-served feeling, smash that like button. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever had to stand up to family who betrayed you? How did you handle it? And of course, hit subscribe, because I've got more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss what's coming next.